In this episode, the women slaps from Yakuza get evened out a bit. Chris gets bonked by a ghost. And can we order pizza? Thank you for coming back for Replay Reviews Horror Month. My name is Leah.
And my name is Scotty.
We are two friends who are here to replay, review, and analyze your favorite video games. And since Kathy has never seen the games before, it helps me view them through her fresh eyes. Almost like I am discovering them again for the first time.
Well, will be a similar experience for you.
Do I sound like Dracula or just Italian?
You sound Italian.
Hey everyone, just interrupting the episode real quick to apologize and warn you that Kathy's audio had an issue this week, and as a result, it's trash. It's pretty bad. So it's going to be a shorter episode this week. I kept it as easy to understand as I could, but the issue has been fixed, and next week's episode will not sound like garbage, so sorry, and thanks for listening. Anything you want to say before Scene 1, Chapter 6?
No, not that I can think of.
Alright. So, the chapter title is Psychosis. We have 5 hours until dawn. We are with Matt and Emily, who are still cornered by a herd of elk. Matt has the option to attack one of them with the axe, and thank God the wheel chose to not do that. I'm pretty sure they get trampled, or at least Matt gets trampled over the edge.
Thank goodness he didn't kill the elk or attempt to kill him.
I know. And then Matt calls them deer, and Emily starts talking, and I thought for sure she was going to correct him and be like, Matt, those are elk. Those aren't deer.
She would be the type to correct him.
But she didn't.
She's very whiny, though.
They make it past the herd and continue on their way. As they approach the fire tower, motion lights spring on, alarming them. And this is one of the great Emily whines.
Oh, that's freaking bright!
So in line with her character.
As much as I hate her, I love that I hate her, and I feel like the character is honestly really well done, and is so annoying to the point where it's actually entertaining. Okay, Matt. Why'd he drop the axe when they start climbing the tower?
He's an idiot.
In the fire tower, they find missing posters for both Hannah and Beth. There is no power in the fire tower, and while searching for the breaker box, they find a flare gun, which Emily keeps rather than giving to Matt or shooting. They turn the power on, and Emily frantically communicates with the radio guy, park ranger.
So I'm a bit concerned that this park ranger might not be an actual park ranger. Like, how do we know for sure that they're actually going to get help?
If this is the psycho and not a ranger, are they also the one trying to break into the fire tower?
I think he has a team, like a partner or someone else helping him. My next note is, it makes sense why this game is called Until Dawn. At dawn, that's when the park ranger or rescue team is going to come.
I like that it takes until chapter 6 out of 10 to have that happen too. Because every chapter starts, it's like, how many hours until dawn? And like you said, we don't really understand the countdown piece of it. They take their time in this game. Something trips the motion lights. Matt says probably a deer. But then something tries to bang on the hatch to get into the fire tower, eventually seemingly giving up and leaving. And that's when we see whatever is around slicing the tower's support cable? Or disconnecting it somehow. The tower falls, into the mine. And somehow they're both still alive, but Emily is holding on for dear life as the tower continues to shift. And this is where Matt has a lot of decisions on how, or even if, to save Emily.
And luckily for Emily, the wheel keeps going in her best interest. It just pretty much outright is trying its best to save Emily.
Imagine if Matt said, I saw you with Mike in this moment.
I actually wanted that to happen. I'm mad that that wasn't an option.
I know.
That it was being so generous with Emily. Come on. Any normal person getting screamed at by someone like Emily would have decided to be like, you know what? You're being awfully rude for someone who needs my help.
You're gonna be fine.
Ah, stop talking! I can't take it!
It's so annoying. She's like screeching like a goat. I feel like that's insulting goats though. But it was kind of a fun parallel to the prologue. Maybe they're trying to make Matt look better than what they did to Bet. But the whole Hannah never got that option versus Emily got the benefit.
Mm. So, just as Matt is reaching out for Emily, she falls, and the tower begins to also fall, but Matt is able to jump off to the side. We then see him shaken up, but he is able to get up and start walking, but something grabs him, and after a struggle, he's hung up on a hook through his mouth.
It's too gory. Who would have thought this game was getting more and more gory?
It's still not as bad as Outlast, though.
It's true, but still, it was too much for me. And I don't like how you go from Matt just being a good person trying to save Ellie despite her probably not deserving it, to him getting such a gruesome death.
Mm-hmm. The wheel just loves Emily. This isn't the first time that we're
So
going to see
annoying.
that the wheel is very partial to Emily. I feel like I hear talking.
There's no one. No.
Okay, that's creepy. Happy Horror Month. Mysterious voices. We'll see if they come up in the recording. Okay, scene 2. Chris and Ashley are back in the lodge searching for a missing Sam. A candle ignites on its own. Things get really spooky, they get freaked out. Ashley is emotional and thanks Chris for saving her life, and he responds that he would do it again.
Funny he's saying that because I feel like in the next 20 minutes, he pretty much is gaslighting her the entire time.
Doors are slamming and opening on their own, pushing their emotions even further and leading them along a seemingly predetermined path. At one point, Ashley sees a ghost down the hall, but Chris misses it and tries to convince Ashley that she's just worn down by everything and imagining it. So they eventually are led down to the basement. Ashley sees a ghost, Chris misses it again. Then a picture flies off the wall, and behind it is a key which Ashley uses to unlock a dollhouse after a ghost points at it. And Chris finally sees the ghost. His dumb butt was staring and oogling at nothing in this whole scene, but he finally sees it.
Come on, Chris. If you really like Ashley, you won't be gaslighting her like that.
At least pay attention a little bit. Like, his face in this scene is so stupid. He's just like,
Yeah.
like, you're looking nowhere on purpose.
So when she unlocks it, the dollhouse is almost a replica of how they were pranking Hannah, where they were standing and seated too. So the question is, whoever set this up, how did that person know how to place the dolls? Like, were they there when it happened? Did they get some intel? Was there another camera that recorded this entire interaction?
Anything else on the dollhouse?
But it's creepy.
Chris and Ashley are led deeper into the basement where they find a hidden camera, an industrial light catalog, and a pair of scissors that Ashley keeps. Anything on any of those notes or anything before they get to the old hotel section?
What do we need to know about the light bulbs?
I don't know if we can answer that right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now in the old hotel, they're talking about Hannah, I think, and debating a little bit about how guilty they should feel. And then this beam just randomly falls into Chris's head. I have actually never seen this before. I think this is one of the only things I haven't seen. It cracked me up. Did this beam just randomly fall on him? Is it the psycho somehow rigging it to fall on him and he was just at the right place or the wrong place at the wrong time to get hit by it? Or is it Hannah's ghost? I need an explanation for the beam.
I think it's too much of a coincidence for it to accidentally fall on him.
Ashley finds a stack of fake newspapers that match the clipping Chris found in part 1 talking about the ex-janitor convicted for arson. And then they talk about what's going on. Maybe someone's doing an experiment on them. How do all these new clues line up with your theory? What are you thinking?
I feel like it's just things to make us call red herrings? I don't know. I saw that, but I don't really know what to make of it because I feel like there's one out of every 3 clues are useful.
Continuing on, they then find batteries and timers, hooks and chains, a dead pig, photos of them all with Chris's eyes scratched out. Disturbing. Thoughts?
I don't know why Chris is the only person who has his eyes scratched out, but I think it might be the reason why he also is the one who decided to either save Ashley or Josh.
And then in a room off the hotel kitchen, they find a video of the prank. I'm sure this is the video that Matt filmed.
How did this person get access to the tape? And then it also changes a bit towards the end too. So who got access? I would think that if Matt was recording this, it would be in Matt's possession.
I wonder if it was evidence for the police.
Oh.
And so maybe it was more public than we think,
But if it
potentially.
was evidence, I feel like the news would have reported calling these kids out and saying that a prank gone wrong.
Well, they might have.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
We don't know. There's a lot we don't know.
Yeah. I do appreciate Chris pretty much calling out Ashley when she doesn't sound a bit remorseful.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks disappointed in her.
Yeah, that choice that the wheel made was like, ugh. That did not sound good, Ashley. Take it back.
I want her to die next.
Further into the service areas of the hotel, Chris spots a blood trail and holds open a heavy door to the room where it leads, but Ashley spots a figure and thinks it's Sam. However, the wheel chooses for her to follow Chris, which is good because I'm pretty sure that was the psycho and not Sam.
So as they're walking through the room, there's a lot more pigs. And what's up with all these dead pigs? It's not the first time we've seen them. My theory is that the psycho needs blood and is just going to slaughter pigs to get it. I don't think it's used to stain anyone for food because the pig's just dangling there.
Imagine getting caught because you have a receipt for like 15 pigs. A bit farther on, they hear Sam yelling and soon think that they spot her, only to realize that it's a dummy, a really disturbing dummy, wearing her clothes.
What's the point of putting the dummy there in somewhere that's so out of your normal walkway? Like, you have to go exploring for it. So I'm wondering if the dummy was going to be for different purposes.
I would like to know what would have happened. While reacting to the dummy, they get jumped by the psycho. He takes down Chris, and Ashley's able to stab him, but it doesn't matter much. She gets punched out anyway.
Ashley, why didn't you run from the psycho? I get there's the fight or flight instincts, but you stabbed him. You keep fighting, and then you run. So I don't understand why she just stood there and took that punch.
Yeah, if you're just gonna stand there, why stab him at all? She stabbed like that was gonna kill him, and just waited. They soon wake up, chained to chairs, with a table between them. They have an emotional moment where they pretty much confess their feelings for each other, but it's soon interrupted when saws above them start up and lower closer to their heads. We then hear the psycho saying, Chris has made one fatal decision already today, and now he must make another. And now Chris has to use the gun on the table and shoot either himself or Ashley. The wheel decides twice. It gave us 2 chances to not shoot Ashley, but no, it decided shoot Ashley. The wheel loves Emily, it hates Ashley.
I do want to say that Chris was pretty smart to try to shoot at the saws to stop it. Although one wrong thing, the saw is just going to come chopping down on your head.
Risky. But you had to try. Okay, moving on to scene 3, we're back to Dr. Hill, and he is yelling at the psycho. He says,
"Don't you see that this torture porn has gone too far? Huh? Now what gives you the right to play God in these people's lives? You're sick! You're a sick fuck! Now what the hell have you done to them? Huh? What the hell have you done to them? Psychopath."
Much different session with Dr. Hill this time.
And he bloodied up. Like, how did that happen? When did that happen? And he must be really close to the scene to be able to talk to the psychopath immediately. So why isn't Dr. Hill doing anything about it? Why is he just staying in the room? Unless Dr. Hill is an imaginary person, which that's my theory.
I think we're going to learn some more in the next scene, so should we just move on
Okay.
to it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's chapter 7 now, violence, 4 hours until dawn. We're back to Sam, still in her towel. She's wandering around the bowels of the Washington Lodge where she finds death machine plans, which I don't know how well you could see it in the screen share, but it looks like what happened to Josh. And then she finds a psychiatric report. We learn that the patient is Josh, the doctor is Dr. Hill. This is a final psychiatric evaluation dated May 21st, 2014, so pretty recent. Did you have any notes on this, or should I just summarize them?
Summarize it.
Okay. So basically, Josh has seen a lot of doctors. It seems they're struggling to find the right treatment for him, and he's now a potential suicide risk. He was discharged after a new med balance led to improvement, and the final evaluation was done by Dr. Hill. Any reactions to finding this file?
Yes. Why is it just laying around?
In a drawer in a basement?
Right? And what a coincidence for Sid to come across it. My question is, if Josh is not very predictable of what he's going to do, at first I thought that my theory of him luring everyone in here was going to be a no-go anymore because he's dead, but I'm starting to rethink all this at this point that Josh might be the clown murderer.
We also find Josh's phone. Dr. Hill has been reaching out to him after he received an email of Josh's plan. I really wish we could have seen that email, but Josh is ignoring him. Reactions? I kind of like how this paints Dr. Hill as a more compassionate person than we've been seeing.
I think it also gives us insight about where Josh's mental state is.
Sam also finds a remembrance board of Hannah and Beth, and she says creepy, which I concur. And then she sees the psycho monitoring a bay of televisions.
How does the psychopath clown killer not see Sam with her flashlight walking everywhere, and then in the next scene she's going to be playing the cassette tape, and that's not quiet. So I feel like they could have died 6,000 times between when some of the people actually died and when they could have died.
Sam did get away when she hid in the elevator, and I'm wondering if that just threw such a wrench into the psycho's plans that they're not able to keep track of everyone. But yeah, what you were saying is the voice recorder. It's the psycho's voice, and then it's pretty clearly Josh's voice as well. He even says, "Greeting pilgrims," which is hilarious, and we've heard him say that before. So it's pretty obvious now that Josh is probably the psycho, right?
I'm wondering if he's pretending to be the psycho or if he really does think he's the psycho because he has like multiple personalities.
I will say, I really like that the game gives you the option to pretty much find all the answers before the reveal.
So as Sam's walking by, someone grabs her ankle and it turns out to be Mike, who I completely forgot about. And so then she starts telling Mike her suspicions that Josh has something to do with it. They kind of reunite, finds her way into his place, and she finally gets a change out of her towel and puts on some clothes.
He turned his head a little bit too far at the end there.
And what's up with the camera panning up like that? Oh my goodness.
I know. It was Mike's eyes, POV.
Probably.
So, they soon... I keep hearing voices, it's freaking me out, because I was just about to read, soon the two of them hear voices in distress.
I don't hear any...
Okay, I hope the voices come through in the audio.
Is it your apartment? Because I don't hear anything.
No. It's not. Okay. So they follow the voices until they find Chris and Ashley locked in their chairs and the psycho approaching them. And then, yep, this is where it's revealed Josh is the psycho. What was your immediate reaction?
He's alive!
That was your... Okay.
Well, the thing I mean to tell you that I was just reading and cleaning up my theory about Josh
Yeah.
maybe being alive and being the clown, and then I saw him. I was like, I knew it.
This game is so smart for doing this because they give us hints throughout. Like even Sam saying, "Watch out for Josh, he's a schemer." And so they kind of foster these suspicions and then they kill him
Mm-hmm.
to make you go like, "Well, what the hell?"
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back.
I'm hearing things. I think it might be my parents. I can't tell. I thought they went out.
It's so creepy.
Apparently not. Did they come back home? No, it's my dad. Apparently he's home and he's on the treadmill.
Oh.
Okay.
Mystery solved,
Goodness
everybody.
gracious.
We're not being haunted. We're okay. I was gonna ask how you felt about the game doing this. Do you like it or do you feel like it's yanking our chain too much?
I think I would like it only if there's someone else out there that isn't Josh. I feel like if it is, it's too soon. Or if Josh had a partner and he's only one half of the team who's throwing these revenge plan, who's making this revenge plan happen.
Mm-hmm.
Say if Hannah was still alive and she was still carrying out the things, and that's why Josh decided to reveal himself so early on.
Yeah, they've revealed the mastermind in chapter 7. We still have like 3.5 chapters to go. Okay, Emily is dangling from a cable that's wrapped around her ankle. How is she still alive?
This game favors her way too much.
She's able to use her momentum to swing to safety just in time as the rope snaps. And then she uses a $600 shirt to make a torch?
I don't understand why that's necessary.
$600 for a shirt that she was wearing underneath
Yeah.
a sweater. You don't even see it. So she wanders through the mines and we hear lots of creepy screeching. She finds a miner photo dated December 1951 and a death totem that shows Emily getting shot through the eye. We see more blasts of flame. Lots going on in the mine here. Any thoughts so far?
Well, I get this mine helps with background and the location, but I don't understand what's the point of having this mine and these, and later we'll kind of get more information about it, that it seems a bit of a weird side story.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about it since Mike at the sanatorium, so it's been a long time since we've had references to the whole mine. And then at one point while she's exploring, a ladder collapses, sending her tumbling farther down into the mine, where she is surrounded by skulls. How do you feel about there being human skulls in the mine?
It seems pretty normal because a lot of miners don't make it out.
Why are they on sticks, though? Are they on sticks?
I
Who's arranging the skulls?
don't know.
Okay, so I have a note just about this whole scene in general. It's kind of sad how she keeps calling out for Matt. It made me soften on her character a bit because she seems like a bitch, for sure. But I think she also actually cared about him, and I think we kind of see that here.
I just ignored it.
Further along, she finds a miner's family photo. His name was Billy. A danger totem that shows Mike dodging an arm reaching out to grab him. The other half of the Danger Cliff sign that we saw in the prologue. A tattoo photo of Hannah's glasses. Marks on the rock, which are tallies in the date February 2nd, 2014. I'm going to stop there. Any thoughts on these clues so far?
I'm thinking that Hannah might still be alive somewhere because obviously someone recently had to have been marking on the stones and her glasses are there. So I think she's there. What I don't understand is why is her picture there? Like, was her dad a miner or something like that?
Yeah.
It's so random.
The picture is weird. Why is it there? Unless Beth had it? Because it was addressed to Beth, but I don't know why. It seems like an unnecessary detail. But speaking of Beth, we soon find her cross and then her head, which is perhaps the most wild clue
Yeah.
that you could ever find.
I got a bit of a scare of it just knocking right over. But like, how is her body not rotting? Like, how is it still there?
I think just because it's really cold in the
Okay.
mine.
Well, it kind of makes me think that Hannah's alive but not Beth, and Hannah's marking something on the rocks knowing that she's alone with Beth and that Beth died. If Hannah is still alive, do you think she partnered with my new theory is she partnered with Josh for him to set up this entire revenge thing? Because how else would someone have known what that setup was and when she was getting pranked?
But, I mean, I guess you would really hate them, but imagine how much you'd have to hate them to willfully still remain a missing person and not, like, tell your family you're alive and you're okay. I mean, what they did to her is messed up, but that's messed up too. Emily also finds a clocking in machine, which the in numbers are erased, but the out number is 36.
Why do we care about this clocking in machine?
We don't know how many went in,
Oh.
but we know how many went out. I think that's what we're supposed to be thinking. So having turned on the power, she takes the elevator further up into the mine, but she's not out yet. And she spots a random guy who she runs from and eventually hides. However, it does appear that he has spotted her.
I don't know if it's better to run away from a stranger or if that was the park ranger. Maybe that is your ticket out the door.
It's questionable because he has a flamethrower and I wouldn't want to be close to that. But again, yeah. We don't know. What's he doing in there?
Yeah.
All right, final scene. We're back to the rest of the gang. They are confused as Josh reveals himself, who starts laughing as if this is all just a harmless joke.
How does it feel? Do you enjoy feeling terrorized, humiliated, panicked? All those emotions that my sisters got to feel 1 year ago?
So we have motive.
I can't say I blame him knowing where his mind is at and knowing that he obviously has some mental health issues. I do like the idea of the revenge plot just because that's kind of what I thought it was going to be about. But then he never took it as far as killing Matt and killing Jess and making sure the entire tower collapsed. Someone else is obviously out there and he's going to get the blame for it, but he also isn't doing himself any service with kind of clarifying that it wasn't him. I feel like he didn't deliver the punishment well enough, like in a way of making them feel remorseful, because all it does is just causes resentment and anger towards him.
Well, back to your question about like other plans for the Sam dummy. It's kind of interesting because it seems like the only two people that he has actually tortured are Chris and Ashley and a little bit Sam, but she's able to get away. So you wonder, like, why is he revealing himself now? Because it seems like you would also have plans for Emily and Matt and Mike and Jess. You know, it seems like there's a lot of people who didn't get the torture. And Chris wasn't even involved in the prank. So why is he the one having all this torture and having to make all of these decisions?
Which is why I'm going back into my theory, thinking that maybe Hannah is still alive and she's the one in charge of torturing Jess and Mike and Matt and Emily, because those four were really, well, maybe not Matt. I mean, Matt, he was recording it. So those four were really the main people who pushed for this type of prank and her humiliation. So if they're dividing on who gets to torture who, it would make sense that Josh is doing those that weren't quite involved and Hannah getting to torture those who are more involved. And I could see maybe if Chris is getting some torture because, and this is just, again, a bit of a stretch, that he blames Chris for getting him drunk. Otherwise, he could have been there to stop Hannah and Beth from running away and or even this prank going this far.
I could see that. I think then the bigger question is Sam, because she was not only not a part of it, she tried to stop it too. She went looking for Hannah before the prank went down, so I don't know why she gets so much heat. And thankfully she gets away, but she
Yeah.
still got chased and tormented and peeped on. What did she do? She's the most innocent one, I think, in all of it. It's just curious why he went about it the way he did and why he's revealing himself now. He then goes through everything he did, explaining how he pulled it off, and says, hook, line, and sinker for every little stinker. And this is where his dialogue really descends into just
Madness.
insanity. Sam seems to know this and says,
You're crying out for help, Josh. You wanted to get caught, didn't you?
and then continuing on, he says, nobody got hurt. And this is when Mike says, Jessica is dead, and knocks Josh out.
Obviously, no one else is asking more question that if you know that Jess is dead, then Josh, like, tell him saying that I had nothing to do about it. And then Mike's question should have been like, okay, is there anyone else? But I guess they're young and stupid and aren't thinking with logic, or they just are born without logic.
Mike and Chris take Josh out to the shed. Chris is pissed that he hit Ashley. And this is what the out of context summary I was referencing. We finally get some payback for all the slapped women throughout our podcast. Josh swears up and down that he did not hurt Jess, and he doesn't say it in the best way at all.
I think Josh is ready to move into being completely mentally unstable. So he's getting toughed down and he's just like wiggling. He's like squirming around and
guaranteed 3 hostages or your money back.
right? He's just not really sane, so it's hard to blame it. It's kind of like blaming a toddler where you can't quite blame them. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I get where Mike and Chris are coming from, but I don't understand why they don't have more sympathy for Josh, who lost sisters.
They tie him up, and this is when he starts to sound especially unstable. And I think my favorite line is the, can we order pizza?
Is that?
Which I'll find it for you.
Okay.
We missed it in this playthrough because I knock him out.
Okay.
I'll cut it in, but it's great.
Can we order pizza?
And then Chris and Mike miscommunicate, leading to Chris accidentally knocking out Josh, as we were discussing. And then Mike stays behind to watch him and tells Chris to go back to the lodge.
I think Mike's gonna kill him.
He does have a gun. He keeps just finding guns, dude. That's the second gun he's found, and it won't be the last.
Oh my gosh. I really look forward to seeing what's gonna happen.
One more part left, and then you get a break from the horror.
Oh, thank goodness. The goriness is what's killing me.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, I'm gonna end it.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to send in any questions, comments, or game suggestions. You can find all our contact info on our website, replayreviewspod.com, or contact us directly through our site.
Did we completely miss something? Are we way off the mark? Or you just want us to take a deeper look at anything from the game? We'll tackle any topics you all want to hear in our season wrap-up episode.
We also have a Reddit where we discuss anything we're curious about. Go take a look and let us know what you're thinking. Our theme music is Condemned by Eggy Toast. They'll play you out, and we'll be back next week.